Hey guys, welcome back. Now, I've been using some kind of Fire TV or Fire TV stick for probably just over 2 years now, and over that period I've picked up lots of different tips, lots of different tweaks and lots of different ways to make the experience better. And whilst I've shared most of those tips with you, there's certain things I've never really shared because I've always thought they're kind of like, obvious. Now, I was speaking to somebody recently and I mentioned the thing about display mirroring that, on your 4K Fire Stick now, or pretty much any of the recent Amazon devices, you can now mirror your phone display directly onto your Amazon device without using any kind of third-party software. Now, when I mentioned that to that person, they were pretty surprised about it because they had no idea. So with that in mind, I thought I'll create this quick video today and basically share some of these tips which some of you may know, but some of you may not know. And for the people that don't know, these tips can actually greatly improve your experience with the Amazon device. So with all of that being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, so tip number one. So all of the recent Amazon devices have now got built-in display mirroring. Now to access this feature, if you press and hold the home key on the remote, and we can see we get the option there for mirroring. If you don't see the option on your device, it could be possible that your particular device is not running the latest version of the Fire OS operating system. And the way you can check that is if you just go over to your settings, go into My Fire TV, go into About. At the bottom here, you've got the option to install update, and in fact we can see my 4K Fire Stick actually has an update to install. Now it's always recommended to install these updates because typically you get bug fixes, you may get some performance enhancements. Generally they will make your device run better. Now this feature to enable display mirroring wasn't available on my device when I first got it. It was something that was added later via a software update. So again, I do recommend checking this option at least once a week and making sure that your device is running the latest version of the Fire OS operating system. So once you have the latest version, let's go back to home. Let's now press and hold the home key and select the option for display mirroring. Then on your phone you want to find an option that either says something like display mirror or smart view or smart link or display link. So find that option. On the Samsung phone it's called smart view, so I can click on that now. I can now see the Fire TV in the list. Let's click on that. And within 1 second, that display should be beamed onto my Fire TV, and we can see it's done exactly that. So, and there we can see my home screen. So here we can see I'm just using my browser. So all of that is now being mirrored onto my Fire TVs. I do think this is a great feature because maybe you're around with your friends and family and you want to beam some photos onto the TV, or maybe you're playing a game and you want to show what you're doing. It really is a great way to do that, and it doesn't require any other software. And just while we're here guys, we can see this remote ADB, because I'll be using that for the next tip. So this application is an Android utility and allows you to make an ADB connection either from your phone or you can do it directly on the Fire Stick. So if you want to run any kind of ADB commands, this is the application to do it. Next up we have closed background applications, because we know with the Fire Stick, or really most of the Amazon devices, you really don't get much memory at all. And once you do start running a couple of applications, it can make your device run very, very slowly, or it can be one of the main reasons that your device starts experiencing buffering, because if you run out of memory, then there's not enough memory for you to cache anything in your buffer, and when you have no memory for your buffer, you end up getting buffering. Now the manual way of doing this, let's say for example I've just started this remote ADB shell. Let's start that. Now when I press the home key on the remote, all that's happened now is the application is minimized, but it's still running in the background. So let's say I want to stop that. Well, the way you do that is if you go over to your settings, go into applications, go down to managed install applications. Here it is. You click on it and you take the option to force stop. So that will actually terminate the process for the application, which will then of course free up your memory. Now doing this manually can take a bit of time because you need to find all the stuff that's running in the background first. Then you need to go into your settings, go into manage applications, find the app, and then go to force stop. Now the more efficient way of actually doing this is to use a single application which will show you all of the apps running in the background, and then you can stop them directly from there. Now the application is called Developer Tools. Let's just search for Developer Tools. Here it is, the Developer Tools. Let's click on that, and it's actually called the Developer Tools menu. Let's click on that again. Okay, let's press back on the remote, and what we're looking for here is this option here, which is list background apps and processes. Let's click on that, and here we can see guys, so even though I'm not using these applications right now, these 15 applications are all running in the background and all consuming memory. And again, the more memory that you have consumed, the greater chance you have of getting buffering. So let's fix that now. So what you want to do is go to the option on the top and select close all apps. Let's click on that now. And what this will do is this will take you directly into the application menu and give you the option to stop it. Now in this case, because I want to keep set orientation running, I'm just going to press the back button on the remote. Okay, so I don't want speed test to run, so let's click on force stop. That's now stopped. Let's press back on the remote. I don't want Apto TV to run. Let's press stop. Press back on the remote. Let's click on force stop. So you get the idea, guys. So before you start your big streaming session or big movie session or whatever you're about to do on your device, I highly recommend just starting this application. It takes about 10 seconds in total, and stop all of these apps running in the background, and that way you'll have a much smoother experience on your device. The next tip I have is how you can connect Bluetooth devices onto your Firestick or Fire TV. Now these devices can be anything from Bluetooth keyboards to mice. I mean, this is the Bluetooth keyboard that I use for all of my videos normally, so when I want to enter in any commands or just use an air mouse, this is the Bluetooth keyboard I use. But you don't have to limit yourself to just keyboards and mice. You can also use Bluetooth headphones. So let's say, for example, you want to watch a movie but you don't want to disturb anybody else in the room, or maybe it's, you know, nighttime. You can pair up your Bluetooth headphones, and that way any audio from your Firestick will be sent over Bluetooth onto your headphones. And to connect any of these devices, just go over to your settings, go to remotes and Bluetooth devices, go to other Bluetooth devices, unless you're trying to do a game controller, and select the option to add a Bluetooth device. So here, for example, we can see I've got a gamepad that's connected. We can see I've got a keyboard that's connected. That's actually this one here. And up here, we've got some wireless headphones. So really, guys, lots of different things you can connect in, and doesn't need any kind of cables or adapters. Just use normal Bluetooth and you can connect and use all these peripherals on your device without any issues whatsoever. For the next step, we're going to use ADB to greatly improve the visual performance of our Firestick. Now, again, guys, this application is available on my website. So download that onto your device first. You can download this using an application called Downloader or Puffin TV. Download this application and let's start that up. Now, a great tip from one of my viewers is, instead of actually typing in your IP address here, we can use the loopback address or the local host address, which is always the same for everybody. So if we click here now, and let's just update this to 127.0.0.1. Let's click on next, and the port for ADB is always 5555. Let's click on next. Now, before you click on connect, make sure you have got ADB enabled. And let me just clarify, guys, if you don't know what ADB is, it's basically Android Debug Bridge, and it's a method of interfacing with your Android device over command line. Now, before you actually make the ADB connection, you have to make sure ADB is enabled. And the way you do that is go over to your settings, go to My Fire TV, go to developer options, and make sure you've got ADB debugging enabled. And this basically means that your device will accept ADB connections. Once you have that, let's go to home, let's go back here again, and let's now make that connection, and let's click on connect. Okay, so the first time I actually got an error saying it could not connect, but when I tried it again, it worked. If on your device you can't make a connection, the tip is always to go back into ADB, switch it off, wait for a few seconds, and then turn it back on. Come back into this application and then connect again, and we should now go in here. So we can now start issuing in any kind of ADB commands that we want. Now, the two ways to enter the commands is either you can click here with the mouse, and you can then see the keyboard. Let's just try a quick command like ls, which basically means list in Unix. Let's click on run, and we can see that's now showing you the file contents of your Firestick or Fire TV. But as we can see, guys, because we don't have root access, most of those files are actually locked out. We can't make any changes. Now, the two things we do want to change are the Windows animation scale and also the transition animation scale. Now, the more time your device takes showing you the animation, the slower the device is going to seem to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the window animation and the transition animation time. Both of them are going to be reduced to 0 because we don't care about animations, we just want the most fastest perceived performance. Now, to do that, the first command we're going to type in is this. Now, I'm going to write up all of these instructions and put them onto my website, guys, because I know some of you actually prefer to read them. So after you watch this video, do go and check out my website if you want to see these instructions again. And the two commands are okay, that's the command. Let's press back on the remote. So the command is just settings, put system transition underscore animation underscore scale, then 0.0 because we're saying we want no time spent on any of these animations. So once you type that command in, press select on the remote and select the option to run. Okay, press back on the remote. We can see we get no error. We just get the next line. So that's the first command going in, and the second command is very similar. Okay, so the second command is just settings, put system, then window underscore animation underscore scale, and again 0.0. Let's type that in, press the select on the remote, and let's click on run. Okay, that's also gone in. So we've now added in 2 commands to reduce the animation and the transition scale. Let's press the home key. So now guys, just moving around, and this should definitely give you a perceived boost in performance because your device is not waiting for those animations to happen. The next step is how you can control your Fire Stick or Fire TV by just using your remote control. Now this is actually a really handy feature because recently I was trying to set up an old Fire Stick and I couldn't find the remote control for it. If you just open up the App Store on your phone and you're looking for an application called Amazon Fire TV, and it looks like that with the official Amazon logo. Let's just install that. Okay, once you install it, you open it up. And this will now basically do a scan of your wireless network and it will show you all of the Fire Sticks or Fire TV devices you can find. Now in my case, it's found quite a few. So let me just select the right one, which is this one here. And you know it's the right one because when you click on it, you'll see this on the screen. And this is basically just asking you, like, this device is trying to make a connection to remote control your device. Do you allow it? And the way you allow it is you enter in this code onto your phone. So I'm going to enter in 3014. And I now see this on my phone, guys. So now I can easily just swipe left and right. And we can see I can actually fully control my Fire Stick just using my remote control. And it's not just a normal remote control. You can also issue voice commands. I can use the virtual keyboard. So here I can just type in, for example, YouTube. So we can see, guys, I can actually use my phone as a virtual keyboard. So it really is a great way to interface with your device just by using your smartphone. The next tip I have is basically using an OTG cable, which looks like this. Now I've done a couple of videos on this recently, but essentially what this allows you to do is to extend or expand the storage of your Fire Stick. You can plug this into your device and you now have a full-size USB port. Now in this USB port, you can plug in pretty much any USB device. And in my example, I plugged in a USB flash drive. Now via this flash drive, I could access the storage and I could play movies, for example, in the K application or in a file explorer. I can access the content on there, but you can also use the USB drive to install applications too. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video, but if you do look in the video description, I will link the other video showing you exactly how you can do that. But one of the biggest issues with the Fire Stick or really any of the Amazon devices has always been the fact that you get very, very limited storage. But using this process, we can use a simple USB drive and greatly extend that. So definitely worth checking out, guys. Now for the last tip, did you know you could actually run the official Android TV UI on your Fire Stick? Don't believe me? Well, you can see here, guys, so this is my Fire Stick here. I can move around, I can click on stuff, but watch what happens when I press the home key. We are now looking at official Android TV OS running on my Fire Stick, and we can see, guys, it's just so much smoother, so much nice looking. We don't get any of the nasty massive Amazon promotional videos or those flyers or those promoted content. We can click on things, I can press and hold, I can customize, I can move things around, I get all of that control. Now to do this, I'm actually going to create a separate video because it does involve a couple of steps and I want to make sure you guys can follow that. If you do want to see that video, guys, then I do recommend subscribing because I will be dropping that video very soon. Well, that's all for this video, guys. Many thanks for watching. If you did find this video useful, then do give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this, especially tutorials on the 4K Fire Stick and the 2nd generation Fire TV Cube, even the brand new Nvidia Shield Pro, all the other Android boxes out there. So if you want to see all that kind of stuff, then definitely do like, share and subscribe, guys, because that really is the best way to help out my channel, and it shows to me and to YouTube that you guys do like my stuff, which will hopefully help me grow my channel. So once again, many thanks for that. Also leave me a comment below and let me know which tip you found useful, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.